Okay. Okay, we've had a kind of an interesting discussion, and can you cut it?
Take it off me.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. I'm okay. Is anybody cold? You'll feel cold after I'm done.
Yeah, there's no problem staying warm.
First wait till it drops. We can edit this.
Thanks, Archie. My nipples were really aching.
Things that one guy shouldn't say to another guy.
Is that what menopause is?
How long do you think it'll take for a trip out? Okay. Throw some questions at me in the meantime before we start taping.
What is the meaning of life?
Good question. No good answer right now.
Our language is a cipher.
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
How come you don't have your wolf shirt on today?
It's in the wash.
It's a good wash. What can I say? Okay. Well, we've had some interesting, discussions previous to this. So at times when I'm doing these seminars, because we have different audience and we don't always know who's going to arrive, so it's difficult because sometimes you have to start at the beginning, and it all has to do with language. So everything I'm saying to you, if I don't articulate something and then tell you what each word means, how would you know what I'm saying? And I think the problem that's happened in most of society is we have had the ingredients to learn, but the problem is maybe the people that are actually teaching are not given enough, or themselves don't know what they're doing. And we're so busy trying to make a buck, trying to make that actual for sale dollar as we sell ourselves for wages, that we're not really keyed in on the rudiment of what things are. And you won't find knowledge based on money, because there was no money originally. So I went through this, and I was going through this with my wife. I was going through this with everybody I've been talking to. I said, go back a few hundred years ago and talk to a native about money. And if you watch the Gilligan's Island episode, they had this native that was inside a cave, and they wrapped some money. Mr. Howell wrapped some money in rubber bands, and the native threw the money. He looked at it, he threw the money away, and he started to stretch the rubber bands. He thought that was more valuable. But and that series was not by chance either, because that term Howl only represented the wealthy. It was used in the Bible in the book of James. So there's clues that are in language, but if we don't see them, we don't know. And if we don't know how words are used and what they really mean, then we're kind of spinning our wheels in a discussion to begin with. So the problem being is, if you don't wipe the slate clean, and you don't do your own due diligence, and this is where the beginning is, because if I'm here and you're not doing your due diligence and I'm just up here, then I can mislead you. Okay? And that's a very real fact. So, as I've said probably in at least 50 to 60 sessions, do your own due diligence, because I'm only telling you what I found. I'm hopeful that what I have found is right. But if you can't go and do your due diligence on it, then you must be occupied with something. Okay? An occupation is war. But we didn't think that when we say we're occupied. That's why they always look for the occupant of the building. I'm preoccupied. Because I understand what those words mean. So it's very dangerous. I'm walking in a world with a bunch of people enforcing things who don't even know what they're doing, but they do it by procedure. They don't need to know what it means. They don't want to know what it means, and they don't want to be talked to about it. So the 80 IQ officer on the road with tattoos now down to his fingertips, with holes through his nose when he goes home, who they'll hire now, who doesn't care about anything, will take the taser, the bat, the gun, and everything else at you, will process you like a piece of cheese And in fact, we'll take you in the G20 summit, Gentile 20 nations, into a room and give you processed cheese with white bread. And you thought you had rights. And that didn't seem to go past anybody when that was going on. Don't go near the G20 summit, but everybody went down there. Oh, I'm going to hold picket signs and jump up and down, and no one's going to touch me. Now, those cops were a lot more intelligent in their procedure than the previous cops doing the regular enforcement amongst the masses because they didn't have helmets. These guys had helmets, which means there was going to be a lot more trouble down there. Even the lawyers were telling us, don't go downtown. We were just getting things notarized. Don't come downtown, G20. We listened. The guy can't be that stupid because he knew we weren't that stupid going to him because we were teaching him. So I find what's happening is we're caught up on thinking that the world knows something. And we get judgmental. And then we think everybody knows something. So we go to the bank and we think the teller knows something, but you can't tell her anything. Stop trying to assume everybody knows something. The good book even said that my people will die or will perish due to lack of knowledge. Not due to lack of oxygen. You'd have to breathe long enough to read.
Can you be more blunt?
I'm sorry. So, many years ago, while I was sitting not in the woods below a mountain, as Winston Stroud did, with a lantern, and if you believe that, and the knowledge came to him by a halo, as his lantern ran low on blubber and oil from an old whale that disintegrated into the vessel. Basically, I realized you had to wipe the slate clean. That means you don't know anything. That's a really hard thing to do, and I went through that with people, and I said it's really nasty to wake up. I don't care if you're 20, 40, 50, 80, and say you don't know anything. Because it'd be a lot easier to start from scratch that way than it would be to assume that you know something. Talk to 5 carpenters going into a building, and the biggest problem they've got when they're doing the renovations or the carpentry is because they have some guy down below who thinks he knows what he's doing with all the tools. And then there'll be an eruption of what's supposed to be done because someone says they know something more than the other guy. So it's better to have someone who doesn't know anything and it realizes that, because if you've gone to that level, and I did that, and I went through these kind of things, and I have been incarcerated, so I know what it is to have cuffs around your hands, and I didn't commit any crime. It appears I didn't have a tag on my body before they took me into the pound. Okay? So I know what it is like to not have a good day in the world of this modern world, because 200-300 years ago, that wouldn't have meant anything. Because people didn't have birth certificates, they didn't have birth records. Maybe the wealthy did. They kept some records on something to do with land, and they were involved with people that were at a higher level of, pagan belief that they thought they could actually own something, because that meant the word Baal, and Baal meant Lord of the land, which most people don't realize. Meant owner. So we use that term owner in our society because we're a bunch of Babylonians. Okay? This society is run by pagans. Gentiles, unbelievers. They think they own the land, but they don't own the land. They can only sell the land to people who believe they could buy the land and buy into their prime rates for primates. And it's all by consent. And then we sign up to everything, and there's not a single thing that's ever happened to us in life that we didn't consent to. No one put a gun to my head to go get a social insurance number, to go get a OHIP card. Now it's going to be so stupid they just issue it right from the beginning, which is what it should have been anyways. If they wanted you to have it, they should have just signed it themselves. Because if you needed to have it, why didn't you just give it to me? I actually joked around one time with a guy, and he was telling me, he said he'd go down the road, and he said that the cops would pull him over. He said, you need a driver's license. He said, well, give me one. And this guy was gut instinct. Good Germanic, too. German background, so he must have known what the Germans were doing. Because it's Hanoverians running society, and it's a white Germanic background, but of course it's being financed by some false Jews. If people do their research. So anyways, he gets pulled over on a dark road out in Newmarket. Female cop comes over and says, 3 pieces of ID. Says, you need a driver's license. Of course, he had none of the above. He had nothing in there. She says, you need a driver's license. He says, well, he says, give me one. And then she says, well, you have to go and you have to pay for one. He says, well, isn't that slavery? I thought that was outlawed. He says, well, the vehicle's unfit. He says, well, then make it fit. If you have the determination you can say it's unfit, you must be able to make it fit. Now, 5 to 7 years ago, he was driving back down the road about 10 minutes later. Not now. Because now they're not prepared for that. Not in any way, and I'm not going to recommend you to do any of the following things that I said prior to what I just... Because it could work out very badly for you. Because it is a dangerous world out there. You have people doing things that don't fit. You have female officers with strap-ons. And they were not fit to have a bat or a gun or a bulletproof vest. And approaching men in bars who have been drinking in strip parlors and whatnot, and thinking that they were going to be arrested by a female officer that's 5'5" is not going to work. Because they'll fight harder to actually not be arrested, and they'll actually with more charges before it's over. This is a messed up, confused world. I use these analogies not to freak you, it's to let you know it is designed to do that. Amen. And the guy who's designed this confusion has even made it so profound that you wouldn't think that he exists, because he's made it that way, and he actually has had it that you don't believe that God exists either. Now that's a master deceiver. He makes you believe that God doesn't exist and he doesn't exist. And you look out there, you'd have to have a reason to think one or the other. As I see out there, I definitely have an understanding that there's some bad guy that's existing. But I do see a landlord that's ready to return back. And he's not going to like how the tenants have been using the planet. So we print 65 million copies of the Bible, pass them out. 65 million.
Per year.
Per year. I don't know where they all go. To be honest with you, I've never been able to figure that out.
Just King James?
King James.
Oh, wow.
Just that version alone.
400 other versions.
Just think about how much publication of that. There is no bestseller that's been printed like that.
They get smoked in jail.
Yeah. Probably you're right. You're right. Those pages get rolled. Because they got rolled to get there. Because they didn't know who they were. They were not taught. And it's a sad thing that our world works on the idea of punishment. And, you know, I of course, you know, I've played on words many times, so if you've seen any of the videos before, and even myself, I can't watch them anymore because I don't even watch them anyways, but I watch them in my head and memory when I said them. But I have to get out of there sometimes because it's too much for me sometimes. But the word pun, well, do you think there isn't a joke going on in ish, which means man? Now you understand what's going on? Pun-ish?
Ish means man.
The joke's on us, because ish meant man. You've heard of Yiddish, Polish, Irish. That meant Irish man, Polish man. Well, that's a punish man. Because if you don't know who you are, the joke's on you, and the court will be laughing, and you will be the court jester. Ignorance is no excuse in the eyes of the law. A Latin phrase, I'm not going to say it in Latin because it's not going to matter anyways for the video, so I'll say it in English while we're still talking English. That did not mean what you probably thought it meant. It meant don't wait on the court to tell you who you are. So if you don't know who you are and you're in the court, then you kind of got in the wrong place at the wrong time anyways, because you shouldn't have been there to begin with. because you only got there because you didn't know who you were. And if you were dragged in there, then you'd be dragged in there, as it said in Scripture, you'd be brought before governors for my name's sake. He didn't say you'd be walking in there willingly. When did you? The apostles must have most been criminal outfit because they kept on getting arrested. Where are these Christians going, oh, we have to subject ourselves to the higher powers? Well, the apostles didn't seem to be doing too good at that because they kept on being dragged in by the higher powers. So maybe Paul didn't mean that. Maybe that's not what that scripture was talking about. Subjecting yourself would also be submitting yourself, that you'd be telling them who you are, and you'd be willing to take the punishment for what it is, whether they like it or not. But you'd stand beside it. An ambassador subjects himself when he's in a country, but they can't have a jurisdiction over him, but he still subjects himself. He can't be there otherwise, right? An ambassador comes in from another place and doesn't say, well, hey, I'm here. Does he just bulldoze in from Poland and just takes an embassy out on Lakeshore? Polish embassy's out on Lakeshore. What do? Just bulldoze over, kick some guy out of a house, throw him out? You saw people flying out onto the lakefront, out onto the street. He says, I just took this over. Or did he actually say, I'm here and I require this place? That's still subject to. Even though he has authority. And that's Polish soil when he's on that. They'll protect him more than they will the Prime Minister. But you see, people don't know these things because they don't observe well. They don't see. And if you don't see, well, then you're blind. So our concern is maybe we're not really seeing the words. So, interestingly, when I was, you can't get this now because now all the Gideon Bibles that they were passing out in the jails now are all small, little tiny ones. Must be running low on all that charitable effort they get from all those Christian, secular businessmen. I didn't know how Christian and secular went in the same, because secular means godless, but most people didn't realize that in the word. Okay, so it's a little bit different to be Christian secular. Okay, and I'm saying while you're in there as a secular, don't beat yourself up, because it's just what it is. And you want to move in the direction, go in the right way, but at the same time, Christian or spiritual and secular are opposites. Okay? That it would not be by chance that we have both in our names. So one side's secular, one side's spiritual. One side's original, one side's an artifice. One side is real, one side is fraud, a counterfeit. We call it an artifice. Okay, so in this, which was really nice when I got these old Gideon Bibles, it was a nice introduction, because if you're going to introduce something and you're talking about the Bible, I thought this was probably the nicest thing I had ever read that explained what the Bible was about. And it said, this book, the Bible, reveals the mind of God, the state of man, the way of salvation, the doom of sinners. Those are people who get charges, by the way. Because charge means sin. So if you're getting charges, don't tell me that you're on the right side right now. Okay? And the happiness of believers. Its doctrines are holy, its precepts are binding, its histories are true, and its decisions are immutable, unchangeable. Read it to be wise, believe it to be safe, and practice it to be holy. It contains light to direct you, food to support you, and comfort to cheer you. This book has cures on health. It tells you what to eat and how to survive. And you do not need permission or a license to do the things that are in here, if you know what it's telling you. It is the traveler's map, the pilgrim's staff, the pilot's compass, the soldier's sword, and the Christian's charter. Now, it didn't say that the Christian's charter was the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. This is the Christian's charter. Have you run into any Christians in Canada that I've run across? I would get thrown out of their temple in 10 seconds on a Sunday. And I can guarantee you that they will never invite me into any one of their organized, registered religions. Because they're all on the take. As my dad would say, they're as phony as a $3 bill. It says, here too, heaven is opened and the gates of hell disclosed. Hell in law meant the debtors in the chamber or dungeon of the king.
Debtor's
And
prison.
believe me, there is a debtor's prison, because I've had friends that are sitting in this audience I won't name that have been there because they didn't pay the debt and they took them away. On not charges of anything criminal, but it was criminal to not have paid the debt. And they took them and incarcerated them. So I've seen it firsthand, and so have they, so they know that what I'm saying here exists. So hell is on earth right now. I had a Dutch friend who told me that his father said he knew he was going to heaven because he had hell on earth. Christ is its grand subject, our good is its design, and the glory of God its end. It should fill the memory, rule the heart, and guide the feet. Read it slowly, frequently, prayerfully. It is a mine of wealth, it is a paradise of glory, and it is a river of pleasure. It is given to you in life, it will be opened at the judgment, and will be remembered forever. It involves highest responsibility, will reward the greatest labor, and condemn all who trifle with its sacred contents. Owned it is riches, studied it is wisdom, trusted it is salvation, loved it is character, and obeyed it is power. And I'm telling you, this is the truth. Because I went to this first before I went to what we consider to be man's law. I went here first. And I was misguided by organized religion first. But I had a belief that there still was a higher power, because none of this that we see in society could have existed without there being some intelligence, because you had to have intelligence to have design. And there's no way, there's things I can't figure out, period, in life, and I know that there's no possible way for me to say, oh, there's no intelligence there, just because I can't figure it out. I'm not very good at tech. I'm good at things that are unplugged. So the books work well for me. The tech age has not worked well for me. It's been a hard time for me. So from my standpoint, I'm trying to help you to understand the unplugged side of things. Because what would it be? And I'm telling you right now, the power, this system of tech is ruled by evil. All they would have to do, don't worry about a nuclear bomb. All they'd have to do is pull the power grid. And you let nature take its course. And I would not be down at Jane and Finch, okay, or Harlem, okay, or in some of the very, very bad spots they've developed deliberately to cause chaos. It's not the people there, it's the people who have made that happen. I've never found an Ontario housing neighborhood that wasn't set beside a wealthy neighborhood to steal from. You can't run good crime without having the center of what they can steal from right next door. Why don't you put the haves and the have-nots side by side and see what happens?
It's so true.
Dufferin and Lawrence, my wife grew up there, they called that the jungle. And I know why, because I went in there at 16 and dated her. And what a court episode that was. To go into that neighborhood and see what was going on. And it was deliberately set up. I saw what was controlled in there and what was made to happen. No crime, no charges, no policy enforcers, no cops, no court, no lawyers. I traced it all the way through. No hospitals for war, because that's what hospitals came from. No ambulances, no guys with guns, no prisons. None of that would happen without that good festering scene going on. But we think that's all normal. Really? That's normal? Okay. okay, well, let's just go in the middle of the wilderness and see, do we see an ambulance? Do we see a hospital? Oh, those poor moose, they ran their own hospital. They have the Moose Central Hospital. For all the moose that get injured, from other moose that want to go and take them down for their extra things that they feed on, their lily pads they feed on in the swamp.
Isn't that Bullwinkle Sinai?
We are the most twisted, depraved, nonsensical, idiotic losers of intelligence with no intelligence. We've even taught people that the word smart means intelligence, but it means injury. But if you say it often enough, you'll be intelligent. I'm going to go to a smart center. So I can get all those artificial foods with artificial ingredients into my body that's natural, that doesn't digest them, it stores up, and somehow we start acting weird. And people say, oh, my child now, he's got this, he can't focus now. And don't worry about the stuff we pollute the air with and the water and everything else. And don't worry, but that all makes sense. We shit in our water and then we think we can drink it. Let's pump it back through the Humber sewage treatment plant. Everything will be fine after that. And then we even have a condo development right beside it. It says Mystic Point. And I said, you're right. That is a mystic point. It is a mystery how anybody with intelligence could buy there with whatever they use to go and earn those wonderful debt notes. And then tell people when they buy something with that, that they actually own it, but they paid with cash. They'll even get a receipt back, paid by cash, but they said, no, it was paid by me, I'm John Smith. No, you paid by cash. It said that on the receipt, it didn't say John Smith. So then cash owns it, not you. You're a thief. If you said John Smith and you went to a lawyer to do it, you must have been breaking the law because he's got a license to help you. This is where I lose most of the lawyers in the audience. And then they don't think they're attorneys. I tell people, you're an attorney already. You just went to another attorney to get legal advice. He just put your nuts in the vice and turned it up. It's called advice. He charged you for something you could have done yourself. Because he knew you didn't know about the first and second testament. People, we've been misled. Gotta wake up. It may have seemed like Corey was tweaking on you, but she was just telling you maybe you're not seeing stuff that's out there behind the scenes. There's stuff going on. You were asleep. You were in a Scottish wake or an Irish wake. My dad went to one. They pulled into port somewhere. My dad said, yeah, they got the body right out of the coffin. They gave him some drink and they sat him up and danced with him even. What did they know? It's a crazy world. We must be doing something really stiff. I've never seen anybody sign anything without a stiff pen. Stiff pen has no conscience. Pen, penalty, come on. Penis, come on. Let's get it ready. You can't have good intercourse without that. Can't have intercourse with a limp pen. And away it goes. Oh, here, would you like $350,000 of debt? No problem. Let me get my stiff pen out. And don't worry that that will be a drag on. You think that's all by chance? We were told in words, but we didn't see them. The English language is Babylon. It's the borrower's language. It's all the languages mixed together. In society at the end. It's a debtor's language. And that's why surnames are injected into that language. It mainly got really into vogue at around the 12th to 13th century. But it wasn't there before. Go to a native. Okay, Grey Wolf, you're not going to be Grey Wolf Smith. We just kind of threw that in there. Oh, well, now he thinks he's Grey Wolf Smith. Did that make sense? he wasn't that before. So originally he wasn't known as that, because whatever name they named him, I don't care whether or not they named him after an animal or not, bottom line was, he didn't have an additional name. And our whole society is about additives, artificial additives. The surname is an artifice, it's an additive. It's not real. And Mladen has a whole mess of now copies of things from dictionaries, just average dictionaries that'll tell you the meaning of words. So we'll go to one dictionary, it'll say surname. Basically, something added to the real name. Well, then that would imply that the original name, the given name, is the real name, and the surname is a not real name. Because you wouldn't need to say that it's added to a real name if they were both real, right?
That's right.
Because language doesn't require that. But it requires it if you're going to separate something. I have a smaller dictionary here, and we'll go on forever on this, but we'll just take the time for the moment on this, because I think what you're not realizing, you're carrying the disease. And you don't know it. You're carrying the virus consensually. And you know in intercourse there could be a problem if you pass a virus. So, here's surname. This is Oxford's pocket dictionary. Now, normally in these, I don't find too much truth. Reason being is because a lot of them, when they're condensed down, they take away things. So it's not like an unabridged dictionary. So normally I would be carrying in here in a seminar, I'd have a really big, thick Webster's or Oxford's, okay? But we don't have it today. The closest I'll come is to this one. It's a Webster's. I do have actually I do have an 1828. But we'll go into surname just to give you an understanding, and then you're gonna, hopefully this will wake you up. Because I don't want to go too in depth in this, because I've done this so much before, but I'm trying to get this through people's minds now. They got to wake up. They're telling you even in the definition. So here's surname. Descriptive or elusive addition. Elusive. Now, elusive leads to illusion. So you got to go to the next word. But they told you there, but they just didn't want to tell you all at once, because they said, well, this could kind of ruin it. Don't think that Noah Webster was too much. Either he was a ghostwriter deliberately, just trying to tell you here and there. I can't really tell at this point. But at times I don't like any of them. Because I found that I had to keep popping from a word to a word to a word. And then I took it all together, and I said, okay, the evidence is weighing the fact this isn't a good word. But how many people would take the time in a day to do that? Oh, I'm the poor woman who my husband's left me, I got 3 children, and I got to drop them at daycare, and I'm going to run over and work at Tim Hortons for 8 hours. You think she's going to do this? She gets home at the end of the day, washing the clothes. You think there's something wrong maybe with society, that's maybe how it's been designed? The bad guy tries to keep your mind so occupied you don't have time. And if you understand hierarchy in society, which write in hieroglyphs, and if you don't know what the hieroglyphs mean, you don't know what the words mean. And that means you don't know what the letters mean, because the letters are a message, and we have our alphabet in letters, and no one told you what the letters mean. Well, the hierarchy are called democracy, because they already knew from the time they joined that the time's running out. Their time is short, according to Scripture. They're going down. So they're going to do everything possible to collect souls, because they work for the bad side. They are darkness. Night's Templar. Night is darkness. K stood for knowledge. N was night, darkness, so they had dark knowledge. And they went with one knee up and one knee down, because they were not at full allegiance to God, because both knees would be on the floor. So they were working for the pagan hierarchy, who were playing that they were actually representing God. It's a hard thing to see all this. So I'm not here to back up religion, okay? Because religion would not want to back me up right now. It's a hard thing. Because if they're on the take, you can't believe them. If there's something affecting their judgment. You know, if I asked someone in the audience right now, and you saw me off to the side, and I gave him $50, I brought him back and sat him on the chair, and said, okay, Devon, okay, answer the following question. You don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm just saying, would you trust me now at this point? But you just saw me there doing a transaction, but I sit him back down, now I ask him something. What's he going to say? He's going to say what that $50 was worth. That's called prostitution. So whether you sell for $1, $10, $100 million, it's called selling ourselves for wages. That's why the word hireling meant prostitute. I didn't make that meaning up. It's in the dictionary. We think it's just that woman on the street who parts her legs and away we go. No. Go downtown Toronto, there's tons of streetwalkers. I've seen them. Did you go down there? They're all over the streets. Stop them at the corner and say, what are you doing? Are you down here for love or money? They say, well, for money.
Yeah.
You're a prostitute. And then they'll slap you. They'll even hit you after that. I don't know if it was to wake you up or to wake them up. Truth is very hard to deal with. So when I'm on these seminars, I'll even get attacked for giving away the information for nothing. We'll get attacks on emails from people who are actually upset that we were giving away the information, but it pricked their conscience to find out we weren't giving them a money solution. I said, oh my goodness. I said, where did you see Jesus in some very high level $1 million denarius payroll? He said, you cannot serve God and money. You can't slave for two masters. It was all or nothing. But people don't understand what that saying is. You know, all or nothing? What do you think people think that means? Well, all meant everything in aggregate because all meant common. You have to look up the word. If you don't know what the word all means, you're not going to get it. That's why Luke 14:33 said, you had to forsake all in order to be his disciple. That means you couldn't be with the commoners anymore. You couldn't be a prostitute. You couldn't sell yourself for wages. So I'm sorry. I had to tell you the bad news. Nothing. You came in with nothing. So you can't be upset because you never had anything when you came in. How can you get upset with God for leaving with nothing? Oh, but I'll give you an additional name. You can make wealth on that one. It's my illusion. Oh, who could be offering you that one? Oh, all the people who believe in that one right now are under Satan's claws.
Survival is not prostitution.
That's it, I know. Don't worry. We'll be telling the Federal Reserve that's where it went to. They will not be coming to collect on where I gave the Bibles to. The wages sin pays is death. That's right out of Scripture. Okay? So he could have said the wages, charges pay is death. Now, if you're in charge, you're in sin. Now, do you believe you're really in charge? Do you really make your body, do you really believe that your heart beats because you say it will? Let's think about that for a second. Ryan, you cause your heart to beat at this moment. Now, you could try to stop it. Okay. But without you doing anything, just standing still, that heart beats on its own. When you sneeze, your eyes blink whether you want it to or not. So God involuntarily controls your body. And that means good's in there involuntarily. You don't volunteer to do good, it's in you. You volunteer to do bad. You invite it in. Do people volunteer into the army? I looked at this. My dad was in it. My dad taught me that my dad was one thing, he never got out of his soul on this. He was in the Navy on destroyer, blew people right up off the water during the Second World War. Sewed people up, did stuff that I don't even want to know about. But he said he was ashamed at the end. He said he saw them there. He says, we hated religion. He saw them blessing. Catholics, Protestants blessing each other, go blow each other up. So they were all engaged in war. And you can't have a good war without a good war name. And you had to volunteer into a war name. Your Christian name is peace. The surname is war. It's arms. And you have to volunteer to use it. And you will be tested not to use it. That's called la test. Latest? They always have the late when someone dies, right? So maybe I'm trying to teach you how to come early. Maybe early withdrawal.
In a good way.
Out of a bad system. Those words are so... There's power in words because we call them spells. You're either here for a good spell or a bad spell. The gospel was your Christian name where you were born, but you never saw it. You were already born with that name, given that name, but until you accepted who your maker was, you were not born again. Because you didn't see it. And then Satan injects in slowly this artificial name that starts showing up. That now you trade with. And trade comes from the word trader, which is in French traitor, to betray. But because someone never told us this, so we go around to most people, and they're gonna flip out when you say this. But do they flip out because I said it, or are they flipping out because you said it and they don't want to hear it, and they know that you probably can prove it? That's where the concern comes in. So now I really understood that Luke 14:33, it's all or nothing. But when you went to the nothing, you're now not part of something anymore. You're separate. Because individual means one, not two. You can't have two to be one. Even though your parents filled in on a form 2.
Can you repeat that for dyslexic friends?
There's codes and everything. The birth record, the doctor fills out, it's called a Form 1. The one your parents fill, it's a Form 2 because they were involved in 2 names. But technically they couldn't involve you in it because you couldn't contract as a child, so you could only be 1. You couldn't be 2, so you were at 1. That's called a tone. At 1. You see how close these words all connect? When I started to see that pattern, I said, either God's trying to drive me insane, which I thought for a while, or it's meant to be that I was supposed to know this. And the concern is, I haven't seen a real separation of this worldwide yet, which I think is on the about to happen. But it hasn't hit there yet. And unfortunately, the majority of the world that even claims to be Christian are not on that page yet. They don't see it yet. Because they haven't been tested yet. And so they'll have to give up all their nothing because Satan really offered you nothing. Look what happened to Adam and Eve. Did they really get something when they took something that wasn't theirs anyways? What did they get? Nothing. And so, when you look up, I'm going to go to this. I've left this up here for a reason, so we're going to go to that, but I'm not going to say what it is right now. But I'm going to take you through the non-religious Garden of Eden trip. Okay, I used to tell people if they can believe it symbolically, they believe it in reality. I'm not going to get upset. Because couldn't I not be dealing with an audience that doesn't know? What happens if they know nothing about the Garden of Eden? They're not claiming any belief in the Bible. Well, then I'm just going to bring them through what I believe in the book, how it happened, and I'm just going to give a summation of it So Adam and Eve are in the Garden of Eden. Okay? They were in a park, right? We called it a garden. That's another word. But interestingly, in the park, it was free parking. Correct? Did God say, Adam, just a second here, I know that you have pockets somewhere. I want to take something from your family jewels. Did he do that? No. So Adam probably at that stage, unlike us with our pen with no balls, had a lot of balls. Everything was naked. It was real. The reality's sitting there, guys. I mean, the code was there. The things we're ashamed of, we should be ashamed of because we don't know what we're talking about right now. We had no address. We had no clothes on. It was a naked trust. It only took something stupid to make man think now he had to clothe himself, which probably led to a cataclysmic change in the climate later because of something man did, not something God did. Man caused his own demise. So in the park, free parking, and in the park there was 2 trees. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life. Now, L is in life, and if you understand what I've done on previous seminars, L stands for God. God's eternal. No beginning or end, like the universe. Try to figure out time. Talk to a scientist. He couldn't figure it out anyways. Don't worry about trying to ask him for anything. Because he couldn't explain it. He couldn't explain where all the languages come from, so they're completely guesstimation people. They guess on things. They just make it look good when they put it in volumes of books and sell it to you. Okay? But on the other side, there was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay? So we got the good on one side. Okay? We got the good and the evil. But if you look up the word trust, the rudiment of trust is tree, which most people don't know. So there was 2 trees, 2 trusts in the garden. Wasn't there 2 trees? 2 trusts. Well, you can go to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or you go to the tree of life. And you know, it's interesting, God never stopped them from the tree of life, even when they had sinned. It was only after he kicked them out. They could have gone to the tree of life in the story, but they decided not to. So we go in, how does God know that they sinned? They took from the tree, said, don't eat of that one, I'll give you all these others. So if I went into Archie's factory here and he said, Dan, you can have all the stuff on these walls. But there's one thing you can have, and I've heard religionists, this is really where it gets pathetic, where they tell me, oh, well, that's not fair. You know you're going to want to take the thing that God said not to take. I said, you really are down the level of no thought right now. You mean to tell me I can have all that in door number 1, but door number 2, I just can't have that one thing. And it was visible. I could have saw what's on that tree, but I see all the other trees, but I can't have that one. And I'm going to jeopardize knowing that God had told Adam the command that in the day he eats from it, he will die. That's pretty explicit. That's called mutiny on the ship. You take that. And it looks like a very bad end. So you can have everything else of that, and it appears they could even eat from the tree of life because there's no indication they couldn't eat from that one. It was just the tree of the life, of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So they take from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil from a guy who's already kicked out of the trust. And serpent meant to draw out, just so you know that. That's the earlier rendition of what serpent really meant. Serpent, you know, pen's in there, eh? T for title. Isn't that amazing?
I'm sorry, what is it to send out?
To draw out.
Draw out.
Okay? And don't we draw a lot of things out? Right? You couldn't draw nothing out without that pen. Okay? And pens and serpent. You see, the language is a code because it's not Hebrew. Hebrew was the original language. I don't know if I could do this with Hebrew. It would probably be more clear. I'd probably see this right away. But I don't see any Jewish scholars wanting to help me on this because I know the reason being. It just wouldn't work out, would it? Can't keep a whole bunch of confused pagans out there, Gentiles. You want to keep them running on the wrong side, right? So, anyways, they took from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. How did God know that they had sinned? They're naked, they're in the garden. How would God know? Well, he came back in, and they had already put coverings over themselves. They put an addition on their body. God immediately knew they took from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil because that would have given them the addition. Okay? So they have address, right? And boy, don't we need a good legal address to get the charges and the bill in the mail? Do you think those guys aren't using the same code? They couldn't bill your natural name, but they could sure bill you with a name that you can send to add an addition onto. That's called merger, which we call in law confusion. So now everybody's confused. Are we not all confused in this world right now? Trillions of dollars of debt, no one can explain where it came from. Talk to the experts. No one knows where all the trillions of dollars of debt came from. Stockbrokers, financial analysts, where did we get into this debt? I'm trying to figure out, how did the earth get into debt? How did the earth get into debt? Damn native guy knew that he sold too many teepees without getting a receipt. He hypothecated that. Mortgaged it to the Mohawks, who in turn mortgaged it to the Ojibwe, who in turn mortgaged it to the Apache. Before long, we have that whole North American continent under teepee debt. Where'd they get all the ingredients? Could the ingredients be in debt? I don't understand that. None of this makes sense. So I'm trying to figure where the debt came from. How did the earth get into debt? Well, touching something that belongs to someone else, somehow, by consent. You can't blame someone. You volunteered to take it. Could they be using the same code? Could the world be using the same code? Who's running the world? The world banks? The IM funds? IMF? Could they be doing that? The CRA, Catholic Revenue Agency? The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, we call the Roman Catholic Mounted Police? Could that be? By chance you get a sin number to register how many sins you do so we can keep a tally on it? Can't run a good church without sinners? You even volunteer into sin. Adam and Eve kind of volunteered in, right? And God will judge the world in equity, and equity does not support a volunteer. That's why God will not hear you in the courts. Isn't that amazing, eh? That is amazing. That is law, what we're talking about here. God will not hear you. It said right here, you'll call out and he won't hear you because you volunteered to do the wrong thing. Why would God come in to help you when you're volunteering to do the wrong thing, but you didn't know who you were, right? That's why ignorance is no excuse in the eyes of the law. If you don't know who you are, don't expect the court to tell you. So they're in the garden, they cover up, they got fig leaves over themselves. I call that a figment of their imagination, that God didn't know what their publics looked like even though they thought it was private. Were they trying to take something public private? Wow, that sounds like an oxymoron. God's not going to not know what my publics look like fully exposed. If you know everything in the public's exposed, right? Okay? So, what we consider to be publicly known is the common name. Okay? Call it a common name. Okay, we'll call that public. And then you have the private side. But maybe you weren't supposed to be in with the public side. Well, they said, be ye separate. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Common meant prostitute. Don't get too happy with the word common share. You sold you common shares. It didn't work well for Enron. I know a lot of people lost a lot in Enron. And I don't think Enron was sending Christmas cards out at the end for their pagan share. So, we've got Adam and Eve in the garden. God comes back, he sees them with figs over their Publix. And you understand when you take God out of the public, which is the letter L in reality, because L stands for God, you got pubic. Now you know you end up back in private. So now we're trying to take something public, private, and we're not going to tell anybody about it because the lawyers say, don't worry about it. We'll figure some way to hide your public in the private, and no one will know where it is. And don't worry about the fact we've got the Royal Canadian Mounted Police who have a worldwide disclosure law now that says if you hide it anywhere else, we're going to go and get it anyways. Yeah, go to the lawyers. Who do you think they work for? You go and tell them everything. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody anything. We'll step into my confessional booth. Don't worry, whatever you say is confidential. I won't say anything to anybody, but don't worry, the fact is I have to report back to somebody. Come on. And God doesn't know what you're looking at, so would he really allow that private end of it being there? He'd let you take something that's supposed to belong to everybody, and you're going to go and take it on the other side and then use it for your own private gain? And that's going to work? Now welcome to trillions of dollars in debt. So Adam and Eve were the starting of this. They were the catalyst. So they probably created the first sin registration. Because they refused to belong to God, so we know in German, you get a 9-digit number, that's 9. 9? No. I refuse to belong. Heil Hitler. And away we go down the Germanic direction. So you have to run a good 9 through the Germanics. And you got to wipe out all the good guys. Because the whole idea of the Jewish people was to atone for their sins, do the right thing. So they basically had to set up a whole bunch of refusers. So they go on strike. So all the 9-digit people are the people who've appealed to say, I don't believe in God, so I want to be a Gentile. So we'll give you a Gentile registration number. And from here on in, you're part of darkness, so we'll refer to you as Dear Sir, Dear Social Insurance Registrant. I can slow that down. Dear Sir, Dear Social Insurance Registrant.
Can you put that on the board for our dyslexic person?
Dear Sir,
That's a good one.
Dear Social Insurance Registrant. Now, either I'm just a really good comedian right now, which sometimes I think I am at times, because it is kind of funny, because sometimes I laugh at myself. But I think that's a little coincidental, that all these things are all connecting in there. And you see, because you're going to now be penalized for not doing the right thing, because everything was based on law, on the journey of the original people with God, who got the law. So they were subscribers. So they were below a scribe, which is below a Levite, which is below a lawyer, right? Scribe, lawyer, someone who writes the law. That's why they call you a subscriber. But Christ already canceled out your law penalty. Colossians chapter 3 canceled out the handwritten ordinance of the man-made law written against us. So uniquely, when I looked at the statement of birth record that happens, at least in this province, they got a line underneath the surname. And generally when you put a line on anything that is an instrument in law, it means it's canceled.
It's also boxed in.
Yes. And so it also refers to error. When you underline something, it also means error. Also uniquely refers to, when you put a line, it also means like a stretch. Also leads to other words like scratch. So when you start testing out the words on this, eventually you'll find out that a lot of these words actually led to Japheth, which was the firstborn off the ark, which was the Germanic bloodline of the white Germanics. And it said that he, even though he was the firstborn, Noah's second son was actually the one who got the birthright. which was Shem, which was the Shemites, which is where the Israelites came through. But this is kind of extending the truth here, so they kind of, put a line underneath that, trying to emphasize that, because that's a stretch. So the surname is really representing the Gentiles, who, through the pattern of the Bible, you will see it. You have Esau and Jacob. Esau didn't get them. He came first, but Jacob came second. You had Abel and Cain, but Cain was first, Abel was second. And if you have a Cain, you're a Leon. Because a Cain, you Leon, right? It's a Lean.
Could you put that on the board for our dyslexic friends?
What I'm trying to say, you'll run on and on. These letters in this language we use is a code. But it's not a code you can't see. And I'm not a rocket scientist on this, because I wasn't the studious student in school. And I was probably as bored as everybody else, and I probably went to high school to get high as everybody else. Okay, so this was not what I'm trying to tell you. This is not something that someone couldn't see. It's that we didn't go and look. It's like you put something under a cover and you just lift the cover. Did you really uncover something, or does it just mean someone put a cover over, but you could have lifted it anyways? And maybe the cover was more our own blindness due to our own not wanting, or at the time saying, I just don't need to know. But you do need to know. Can you walk down a path if you can't see what's ahead and it's darkness? Or do you light a candle? Would it make sense to walk through darkness? You see, when you get a letter in from anything in the system that you owe money on, it'll always be a white background with lots of black print. Well, the black print is against a white background, so that means that's darkness and everything else around is light. So what they're sending you is darkness. Because they're sending you a bill. But according to Scripture, you're under grace. There is no debt. How could there be debt? We already went through this. How would there be debt? Did the native guy wake up and say, oh my goodness, how are we going to pay the rent on the teepee? Where did the debt come from? And then they took a guy, they took one of the chiefs, and they put a gun to his head, and they said, you sign this treaty, and you say you own the land so you can give it to us. And the native chief said, we don't believe we own the land. We believe we're part of the land, but I believe that if I don't sign this treaty, you're going to kill us. So he lied and signed the covenant with them that he believed he owned the land, which he didn't believe, and then he handed it to them, and then they handed it back. That's called a reserve. Right? He served them something that he never believed he owned, and then they reserved it back to him. And they said, don't worry about it. We'll be the trustee. You'll be the beneficiary. Now, did that work out well? So do you think they were going to change their ways on the rest of the people that they got into this crazy crap? So they sent all the peasant slaves over here with no education, no thought, barely could read, and they just said, don't worry about it. We got these native guys. We got them out of the way. And don't worry later. They will have an original name, but don't worry. We'll give them a aboriginal, which means not original name. We'll call them now aboriginals. I got ditched on the YouTube on that one. That was hilarious. You see how much hate mail I got on that one. The word ab, it doesn't mean that. Well, where's abnormal? Oh, not normal. Aboriginal. Original wasn't a good enough word. We had to put ab in front of it. Now it means something better. Oh, but they gave us free ability to sell the cigarettes for no tax.
Yeah, but you had the native, and they gave you alternative
That's
theory.
the alternative name. So did they give you an alternative name to your native name? Do you think maybe you don't really know what you thought you knew before now? Have I pulled the rug on your foundation of thought? But when you read this document for what it is only identifying on the birth record that the parents filled out, it's only identifying the Christian name. The only thing that's factual on this, a fact has to be real, not artificial. Where did the surname come from? I keep on telling people this. I haven't had one good answer. Out of the most biggest experts, where did we get this surname? It's an artifice. It's made up. It could be a place, it could be an occupation, it could be anything that someone's background was. That's a bloodline? Does that make sense? So I'm born in Charleston, and I'm going to be called now Daniel Charleston. That's my bloodline? I wasn't a bloodline before I became Charleston? Didn't we all come from the same source? Just with a few variations? Like he did flowers and trees, they're not all the same? What a ridiculous, ridiculous world we live in. Someone attaches something to you and you fall into it, and then you just think it's okay. And you will pay tax on that. And most people don't know what the word tax means. I used to joke around in the past, I used to take the word tax. I used to say, because I knew that T stood for title, A was absolute, and X was wrong. Title, absolute, wrong. That's why you pay the tax on it, because you do not have the title. You will not pay tax if you were the title holder in reality. If you had the original promise of the seed of Abraham, you would not be paying tax. That's an impossibility. But if you're a Gentile, you don't get the land. That was never in the promise. Gentile meant unbeliever. Someone without a covenant with the true God. So wouldn't it make sense that the people running the world would label you as someone who does not have the title? And then you join their aggregate, and then they can tax you because you're dumb enough not to know who you are. I hope I made that as simple as possible. But I'm going to put so much fear into you that I pull you over the road, and you said, my Christian name is that, and I'm exempt. I do not have that name. That is an artifice, that's a fraud, it's an error, and it's on the document, and I can explain it later, but we'll go to court. You want to take me? You're taking me under your own volition, not under mine. Don't let me stand in the way of your success. I said, you arrested my leader. He didn't resist. I'm not a resistor. Satan was the resistor. Go ahead, take me away. But I know whose paycheck it's coming out of when they find out that I do know who I am and who he's going to get, because that guy's on the payroll. He's on the take. They'll be taking it from him. He's part of the artifice. They can only take it from him, not from me. Maybe it is parole, maybe not payroll. You could not make this stuff up. And I've made some serious enemies over this. And you know what, mainly? Mainly from Christians.
So-called.
I've had easier time from people who didn't even think they were a Christian. Because they were an easier time to say, I didn't know any of this. It's like taking a guy who's never learned how to be a carpenter. You take him in, right? He has no bad habits. You say, this is how we're going to do it. No, we're not using nails, we're using doweling, we're going to do it right, just in case we can't go over to the hardware store and get that other stuff. We can make our own pegs, don't worry, it'll take a little longer, but we'll build that building. Oh, but the guy who doesn't know how to do that goes, oh, no, you got to use nails. Look at the buildings 100 years ago. No nails. Who introduced nails? The Romans. Because they knew how to nail everybody. So, anyways, I'm going to take you to the word tax.
Lifting the corporate veil here.
Yeah, I guess I'm doing that. We got some, there's so much information that's so straightforward that it's almost hard to believe that it's been not placed in more of a format of a book form. Where someone just said, look, these are just kind of things I found, kind of curious things. Kind of like the Arsenio Hall, things that make you go, But it's not there. It's strange that I thought I'd find it maybe in one format where someone just kind of collected it all together. It was kind of weirded out that I had it in notes. Like piles of these little notebooks you get from the dollar store, and I had piles of them. I got piles of these. But what I was doing was when I wrote it down, you see it was imprinting in here. You see, when I learned in school, I just mimicked. oh, write this down. If it didn't make sense to me, I just wrote it down anyways, right? Didn't you do that at school? You didn't even have to understand, you just wrote it down. I'll write it down. We just gotta make sure you got it in your notebook. We'll review your notes later. And then we'll test you later. You don't even know whether any of the stuff you're learning is true or false. Just write it down, don't worry about it.
Just being imprinted.
You see, unfortunately, that's how society actually operates. Well, while we're in front of this surname, this was one of the dictionaries we got it out of. It says, having existence or actuality as a thing or state. This was under surname. Sorry, I missed it. Surname, a last name, a family name, a name added to one's real name. So then we looked up real. Wouldn't that make sense? I want to know what real is, because it said that as a surname is added to one's real name. So we just went into it. That's what I'm saying. You need to do this kind of simple due diligence. Take a few minutes out a day and just look at a simple word that we're using here, and then check it out. So it said real. So it says a name added to one's real name. One means one. Don't confuse that to be two. A surname is an aggregate of people who share something in common. That's not one. That's not the term of individual. You can go into the Canadian Law Dictionary and it'll say that a definition of individual, though they leave it as the 7th definition, says not part of a family. Because the family they're talking about is under a surname. That doesn't mean it's really a family. Because those names are ridiculous. Have you ever seen someone's surnames? They just make them up. They don't care. Register anything. We don't care. Tell us you're that. That's what happened over the ages. We'll categorize it and we'll tax it. Sounds good to us. So real, having existence or actuality as a thing or state, not imaginary. Okay? When man started to make things up, we call that imagination. Now, if you know anything about the Magi, there's magistrates in the court all day long for your imagination. State your name for the record. They just want to know that surname, because that's part of the Magi. They were Persians, Medo-Persians. They were Magi. And they were magicians, tricksters. Slip of the hand. Once they got you thinking something, you believe it, but belief can misrepresent a fact. Doesn't mean it's true. So imagination. So all these worlds, come on now, going to Canada. Was Canada there 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 4, 5, 6, really? Was it there? Did someone just imagine it one day? Ah, now imagination. We need another one in our pool. One more of Satan's grouping nations. We call them the unnations, the UN. The Uncola of nations. We can make one up and bring it under there. We call it democracy, and we'll blow you up if you don't believe in what we do. Don't worry about that. We're there to make peace, though. We'll just kick your ass if you don't like us. They will not be bringing me to the UN tribunals on atrocities to people, but anyways, that's what goes on. So there you go. You got your imagination, and you can just imagine as many things they want. I thought it was just Earth. I tried that once with a police officer, asked me, where are you from? And I said Earth. It didn't work well. I thought I told the truth. Where are you from? Well, I should have said God. That was the original source. But it didn't matter anyways. I don't think they're ready for that either. Anyone was born with records, attachments, tattoos on them from that stuff? Come on now. I know I got shot in the hospital. They shot me up there, man. They even wheeled my mother out at the end. I was disabled leaving. In her hands. Shot the child. Even put a brand on me. Still got it on my arm. I think I was one of those F series, the fail series. The experiment didn't work out. The vaccinations wore off. No more artifice in there. Your children are allowed in our schools now. We don't want them back in. Don't worry. It's funny when I took them out, they didn't want them back in. I was the only guy I ever knew that ever took his children out of school, and they never asked for them to come back in. They didn't even want reports. He said, no, you just keep doing what you're doing there. Stay away. These are these uncanny things I experienced. So, anyways, it's funny they even call it the last name, so if you want to come in last, you can come in last. Don't let me stand in the way. I want to come in first. Okay, that's the first name. And the first name is the original name. So if you look up Noah Webster's 1828, it says that the Christian name is the original name. Well, then what are you using something that's not original? If it's not original, then it's of no value. And when you use the two names in combination anyways, you couldn't even vouch for it anyways. In their stupid world, you need a guarantor. Try to figure this out. Lose all your ID. Go lose it all right now. Throw it out on the street, throw it down the sewer. Now try to figure out. No, I'm telling you, you should do this. Because this will wipe you clean. Take all your stuff, credit cards, everything else, do it on nationwide TV and burn it, then try to figure out how to get it back. Now you're going to have a problem. Now this is how they would do this. Now this is what would happen if you didn't have ID. And don't worry about this. Okay, don't worry about the Wizard of Id. Got you the ID. Because what's happened there is if you took all that stuff, now let's think about this for a second. Take all Ryan's stuff, take all Dervon's stuff, a lot of the stuff we really should burn, but we take all his stuff, we put it in a barrel, we light it, okay? Now he's got nothing. Let's think about this for a second. Let's go through the peril of getting it back. Let's just think about it. How does he vouch for himself now? How does anybody in there that just did that vouch for themselves? Could you vouch for yourself out there? You need a guarantor. But funny enough, when I run into the guarantors, they say that it has to be someone who knows me for 2 years. How would that make any sense? So if I just floated around and said I was that, but that doesn't mean that when they guarantored me that the dates and the name are actually going to link to something. Yeah, I could be walking around, I'm going to play John Smith. I gave a lawyer enough money, he'll believe anything. Hey, it's John Smith again. Yeah, how's it going there? Yeah. I know. You know that $80,000 I've been passing over the years. The government, I lost all the ID. You say I'm John Smith. No problem, I'll sign that. So I fill it out, but they don't find John Smith inside the birth records for that date. I just filled things out. That's all I needed was a guarantor. Yeah, put down pounds on the child and all that stuff. It's got to match. Does any of this stuff really make any sense? And I couldn't be in their society without matching all the boxes. Here's I'm in there title fighting, I'm boxing. I'm boxing for that title. I wouldn't have to prove I'm just Daniel, because they wouldn't give two about that. Boy, but when I touch that surname, they really want some verification on that. But it appears that if some dummy says he knows me for 2 years, that'll work. More than not being the lawyers or the legal part of the society. Because there's only certain people qualified as guarantor. But then I said to the government one day, I said, what happens if I don't know any guarantors? I said, well, you'll have to write a letter and then they'll decide whether they give you any birth ID. Well, what would I be if I didn't have that? Maybe that's probably what it should be. Maybe we're working too hard with the other. What do? Ship me to where? Well, there's a lot of white countries out there, so I guess I got to try to figure out where I am, take a little blood test and say, well, looks like you got a little bit of this in them, a little bit of that. We'll send them over to Ireland to get a little smashed over there for a while. Send them over to Scotland over there. A lot of white people down in the U.S., maybe that'll work out for a while. we're gonna
Okay.
call it.
Or anytime you're ready, go ahead.
Okay. So anyways, tax. I went through this and I said, I never understood that. You know, what was this thing about the tax? You see, in Romans, when it was dealing with be subject to the higher powers, pay the tribute he calls the tribute, well, if you're in and you're using it, Paul wasn't stupid. He wasn't telling people because he was a lawyer in the past. He was a prosecutor. So he wasn't telling, he was talking to people who weren't believers yet. So he wasn't just like Christ when he said, you know, do we pay the tribute? And he said, show me the coin. Well, a coin's a counterfeit right off the top. The word coin means counterfeit. It's not real. God needed coin out of the ground? Oh, just a second here. My people just wouldn't be able to live right. We need to dig up all this stuff out of the ground. And then we'll forge it into something. We're going to forge it now. Oh, isn't it a forgery? You think that we maybe didn't see this? So tax meant censor. It meant to blame, blaspheme. So you're paying a tax because you blaspheme God. Because you say that Christ is not the surety. Because Hebrews 7:22 says that Jesus was made surety of a better testament. So he's in charge. You can't be in charge and God in charge. You're not in charge of anything. I hate to tell you that. You can think you are. Try. You'll be paying for it. Because they'll send you the charges. The greatest thing I found out was I wasn't in charge. So I hand the guy, officer comes down the road, says, hey, need 3 pieces of ID. I said, you're looking for stuff with my signature on it? I just found out I wasn't in charge, so I give you this because I found out that your superior is in charge, so I'm not in charge, so you can't charge me. That's when the eyes start crossing. I have to go back to my sergeant.
What you talking about, Willis?
Okay? They don't know. Okay? He's an off-icer. They take you into the court when they're going to charge you because they know, well, they don't know that everything's frozen. You have to tell them. It was expropriated. Your account was frozen. It's just ice. Cop even tells you freeze because he thinks you're liquid. You gotta tell him you don't have anything, man. There's no money.
Tell him to chill out.
It's a terrible thing, you know, when you hear from a lawyer who says, yeah, no one owns anything in this country. And he just says that and no one catches it. You know, guy's studying law and you go in there on property and the guy, the actual top lawyer says, no one owns any property in this country, but he's the town solicitor collecting all the tax on the people who think they own property. But no one would believe that. It's very taxing to understand what I'm saying at first. But when you understand it, then you'll realize that they would be the signing authority. They expropriated that idea. It said in Scripture the land will never be sold forever. So why are they selling land then? They're selling land to the dumb Gentiles. Gentiles, idiots, selling land to idiots. They just don't know the land belongs to the promised seed. So yes, it sucks to be those that don't believe. That's just the way it is. Someone says, I'm a Hindu. I said, I'm sorry. For you. You said, I'm a Muslim. I said, I'm sorry. There's no promise for you. And they think they're going to take it offensively. I said, don't worry. I said, if you want to believe that, you can believe that. I'm even nice with them. They say, you're an asshole. I said, I believe that you believe I'm an asshole. That way I didn't disagree with them. I believe that they believe that. It says love believes all things. I believe that they believe they'd like to hurt me. I believe that. It said in Scripture that love would believe all things. I believe that they want to hurt me. But you still have to tell them the truth. You're still obligated to tell the truth, not fiction. There's 2 things going on out there. So Satan evolved a fiction. He says, here, attach this to your name and you can be an owner. You can be a god, just like me, who wasn't a god. Satan was a god, it was illusionary. He was the father of the lie. Don't worry about the fact they put a lie over your name. And don't worry that you have to carry third-party liability so you can lie. So you have liability. I always ask people, where does the third-party liability come from? Everybody's going out to get that, right? Insurance, need third-party liability. I said, who's the third party? Inside a courtroom, they say they're collecting for the third party. Oh, well, all right. I thought we're all working in the aggregate. We must be all part of the third party. Can't hurt me. We're missing key things, what's going on. You stumble and fall because you do not know. So hopefully this type of information is going to kind of waken you up. So now you understand that tax means blaspheme. You're only paying a tax because you're blaspheming God. Would God charge a tax? Did God need money? That makes sense? The Israelites were offering up sacrifices because man had gone downhill. Now he needed law. Not grace. God was using the Israelites to first teach them law. That's why it seemed like God was very exacting at that time. Well, he had to bring them down the journey. And he who did not know the law would die like a beast. A beast is an animal. That's why a human does not mean man. It means in the likeness of a man, but it's not a man. Well, we got used to human. You won't find that in the Bible. The word human doesn't show up in the Bible. Though I did find a legal Bible made by a modernist group that actually quoted something and put where the King James Bible said, you sons of mankind and you sons of humankind. But the King James Bible said, you high and you low. So it appears that those that think they're of mankind are using humankind. They call them human resources. Cattle. Tag you're it. They tag you. They brand you because you do not know. They consider you ignorant. So they give you a law name and they tell you to put your lawsuit on. Because your surname is a law name. It's positive law. Now I'm going to read you the last thing to keep this thing simple for the evening. I'm going to read you a very, very good thing that Milad and I had found. And it was called, it was a definition of natural law and positive law. Now you'll understand why they want a positive ID on you after we're done this. Natural law. Standards of conduct derived from traditional moral principles. First mentioned by Roman jurists in the 1st century A.D. They were at the time of Christ. Isn't that interesting? And or God's law and will. The biblical 10 commandments, such as, quote, thou shalt not kill. Closing quote, are often included, and it says, natural law assumes that all people believe in the same Judeo-Christian God and thus share an understanding of natural law premises. Premise is a house, eh? No, a premise? Premise of belief? Well, if you have a surname, then you have a different premise of belief. Because there is no salvation in a Gentile house. The Gentiles do not get the covenant. Gentiles were considered unclean. Their hearts were not circumcised. Spiritually in the New Testament. In the Old Testament, there was a separation. That's why God did a covenant with them, and he circumcised his people to mark them different from them. So they showed up. One would be the head and one would be the tails. I won't get into detail. That's not by chance. And that's why they wore covering over their head before God, to show that they covered their head. They were not supreme to God. They covered the crown. There are many little details in there. The word film means foreskin. So there was a film or a veil over the Gentiles' eyes they did not see. It was all about eyes to see and ears to hear. So there's little codes in what it is, but we may not have understood it. Now, when you looked at, it says it's the opposite of positive law, which is created by mankind through state. That means what the government makes. So the surname is positive law. They require it on a birth record. Well, the odds are your parents were using one anyway, so let's not even go there. So they took it on there anyways. But once they got that, it was done anyways, because They required it, fine, they got it. That's called an accord and satisfaction. It means that pays the debt anyways. Their own law has a discharge on that. So if you needed something, you said you wanted it, and there's a bankruptcy, I'm going to take from you what's mine. So when the monarchies didn't pay the debt anyways, they just took what was belonging to them, which was the arms, which was the pledge. They pledged the arms. They couldn't pledge your personal name because under bankruptcy laws, there was a limit to how far you could take something. So in 1933, when all the nations went bankrupt, all they could take was the arms. They took the artifice, not your Christian name. They could not take that. And that's why we have a court case that even states that a given name could not be transferred to a person, corporation, or trust, which means it's inalienable. Not alienable. That's where the aliens come in. If you want to be an alienable, okay, it's inalienable, which means it's there. It's not touchable. So they could never touch that. But if you don't say it, and you don't stand beside it, oh, they'll intimidate you. They'll do many things. But the truth will set you free. The doors will open, don't worry. I saw it happen. I was stuck in the jail cell. The doors opened up. 2.5 hours of interrogation, but it came out at the very end. Because I knew no one knew anything. They didn't even know that the word question meant torture in law, because you can't ask somebody something if they're not in a jurisdiction to be asked that. So to imply that I have something that they couldn't prove I do have would be torture. And a child could never have consented to what was on that form. So if there's something artifice or not true on there, well, then it would be kind of ridiculous to think something real happened on here. So, believe it or not, that name has been canceled. The only thing that's on that record is the Christian name, and that's why when you leave the country, they'll put a authentication document. Authentic means original. Okay? An original can only lead to something that's genuine or true, and something that's real could only be true, so your real original name is your given name, not the surname, so therefore they don't see that because they're blinded. But AD is the only thing put on the cover document to this from the authentication office, from the official document services. And that's the only document you'll get with AD, which only stands for in the year of our Lord and Savior, which is Anno Domini. It does not stand for in the year of our Gentiles. So natural law only required a given name. And in the law books, an addition or a surname is a name added to a name, but it is not required. It can be assumed by none, claimed by none, but assumed by anyone. Which means it's a sucker punch if you take it. But it leads to commerce. So when we're in there, it's very difficult. You say, well, how would I dysfunction not in that? How would I go out the other way? That's where the concern is, because if you've only been trained one way, imprinted one way, wouldn't it be difficult to try to find the other side? At least we could admit that, right? It doesn't look like there would be a way out, but that's an exemption. You see, exempt does not mean money. Christ didn't leave us money. He left us peace. He said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Well, wouldn't it make sense that you couldn't have a war name in your name? That's why they get a war rant for your arrest, because you have a war name, which is your surname. That's called a war rant. They come to the door and say, John Smith? Well, the minute you said Smith, that's the rant they needed to hear. You confirmed it. They didn't even ask for ID. They just knock on some guy's door. Maybe John Smith did live there, but another John Smith moved in by chance. And the other John Smith killed someone. They don't need to ask that. They'll just take the guy away anyway, so lock him up. Sucks to be the John Smith that moved in. Their system works on that. Watch the movie Innocent Man and you'll get the click on this. If anybody saw the movie Innocent Man with Tom Selleck? In the movie Innocent Man, the gist of the whole thing was there's this legitimate guy in the world of society. He's got a good job. I don't know if that's an oxymoron because Job meant persecuted one, but we'll leave that alone, which means task. You can never have a good job. That's like a good pain in the ass. But anyways, he had a good pain in the ass, and he's at his house, and there's a number there on the address, and all of a sudden there's some dirty cops that are narcotics officers, and they're looking to nail some guy. They get the wrong address, but it looks the same as his address, so they show up at his place instead of the place they were supposed to go to, through the informant. Okay? Don't worry that your parents are named as informants on the statement of birth record. We'll leave that alone. So, they show up at this guy's address, which isn't the address of where they were supposed to bust this cocaine deal. He comes out of the shower, they bust through the door, they think there's a cocaine deal going on. It's a similar sounding name, but not the same. They come busting through, and they basically catch him coming out of the shower with a hairdryer.
Yeah,
They
it was a
shoot him.
lethal hairdryer.
They thought it was a gun, so they shot him. So Tom Selleck drops to the ground. They take him away. He wakes up in the morning. He's locked up to a gurney in the hospital, having supposedly shot at an officer. What they did was they planted a gun on him and then fired the gun and made it look like he had shot it because they knew that they didn't have the right place. So they covered their ass and they even planted cocaine on his place. That's the world you live in, just so you know that, because they do it to any one of you right now. Okay?
Actually,
So don't ever think you could not be framed, because it appears on here I may have been framed. Okay?
And just before you move on from that, we had many discussions recently where you could be the best guy in the secular world that you could possibly be, and somebody can just come along and make up some shit, some lie, and the system would just go with it as if it was true.
They will. If they say that a man has raped a woman, they will show up at his address and take him away. They're not looking for any evidence other than someone saying it. You are guilty until proven innocent in civil law, not innocent until proven guilty. Under common law, at the mouth of two witnesses, a matter must be established. There was no two witnesses on this document. That's why you were absolved anyways. Okay? Because this is under common law. So, what happened when he went to his lawyer? Oh, the most amazing scene that everybody should record from Innocent Man. He sits with the fine, surnamed lawyer like Spielberg. I forget what his name was, Spielberg or something. And he sits with him, and he says, you were accused by decorated officers, and it looks really bad for you, and it doesn't really look good for you, that drug charge you had when you were 18. So anyways, the final words were from the lawyer. He says, it's not a question of innocence or guilt. It's about persuasion, maneuvering, the appearance of guilt. It doesn't matter the evidence is all false. Don't you understand? How did anybody miss that in the movie? And they went on with their life and never thought that came from a lawyer under those circumstances. And then what came out of his mouth? No, I don't understand. Because he didn't understand. He couldn't figure out that his world was like that, and he was in it. And I don't even think Tom Selleck knows today. And he even said the lines in the movie. How good is that? You could even get a puppet to say it in the movie, and he didn't even know himself. Because he's on the take getting paid. He's too busy being involved in the entertainment world. Which, defined in law, entertainment meant payment given to a soldier.
Well, it gets
That's
more.
why they sent Bob Hope out to the military to give them hope, entertain them.
You know what's the irony now? Tom Selleck plays a police chief.
Yeah, I know. But they don't know. Because I don't believe, I can feel that the individual just doesn't see it because he was never shown. They get too busy in what it is.
He's also, could be framed for pedophilia because of homosexual.
Oh, isn't that something?
So they might have corralled him with that
Yes, it's
earlier,
quite possible.
and he can't do anything anymore.
So when they put you in the cast, you're already broke, but they didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Is that how they got Pacino into a dress?
Yeah. It's kind of it's a sickened world out there for what it is, but understand that that's the essence of our law. So it says it's not a question of innocence or guilt. Well, wouldn't that be a problem right off the top? That's the first thing that came out of the lawyer's mouth? Because their world in the law is denying that Jesus Christ is the surety, and you can't earn your salvation. You had to accept it. That's a hard thought, because that takes humility to believe that there is a God. And he just said, look, I sent a perfect sacrifice down to you to make up for Adam, because he became the second Adam. There's a pattern in the Bible. Cain, then Abel. Adam, then a second Adam, which was Christ. Esau, then Jacob. Ishmael, then Isaac. There's patterns in there. It's not by chance. So we're kind of in a code, but don't rely on religion to fix it. So I'm there with you. If you've had a bad feel that, I don't want to look at the Bible, I'm with you. I'm with you. I grew up in a religious home. My dad was a pastor, so I know, because he was living in the past. Or
Condemnation.
that was a joke, guys. You're a hard audience. You see, past that's what law deals with. So if I charge you, or I charge you, or I charge you, it's in the past. You can't charge the present, because you were pre-sent to do good. That's involuntary. You're being charged for voluntarily signing on by your own consent to wrong. That's how they get you. And they test you. It's called the test, the latest, the last name. That's the test, and it's a code in there. And they're running a good church in the court. They got the priest, which is the clerk. That's the high priest who calls in God into court. Then God sits up on the top. They have the lower priest. That's the lower Levite. He can't enter into the tent of most holies. He has to have permission to cross the bar. And then you come in as the sinner. And then you plead and you admit your sin. That's it. But you're taking the hit. Because you don't know, because you're under the law, you're not under grace. Grace is opposite to law. It is the complete oxymoron. You can't have grace and law. It's impossible. You're graced your given name. It's really not even a right, but technically they can't touch it. So it is a jurisdictional right, but it's a grace of God. You were purchased. You can't go out and purchase, so we set up a world everybody goes out and purchases, right? We're all purchasing. I had a lawyer, I sat with him. You know what's funny thing? I sat with a constitutional lawyer. He argued on that one. He says, oh, the word purchase doesn't mean purchase. Then he looked it up and it said purchase. And we gifted him the money to listen to his manure. I couldn't take any more. I had 2 sessions after 8 hours. I couldn't take any more. 2 4-hour sessions, that was enough. He didn't understand anything. Nothing. I absolutely established there was only so many lawyers listed in our constitutional law. He knew nothing. You see, you're not part of their constitution. You're exempt from their constitution because you can't take something natural and put it into an artifice. So you're exempt if you know. That's individual. That's one. That's at one. Individual means at one in its real sense. It's separate. It's not part of an aggregate. You can't have an individual in an aggregate. That's why you can't be part of a surname. But you can by consent. Doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means that basically it requires your consent to do it. That's a merger. And merger means confusion. So if I take IBM and Ford and put them both into one company, that's a merger, but it's still confusion. Because it'd be very confusing to have a computer company and a motor company together. But you could do it. But that's called confusion. That's merger in law. Confuse. So I refuse to be confused. I will not conform. So a conscientious objector, in a sense, what we really are, is to war in any form, because that's truly what it means. And everything in democracy is a form. We fill out forms. So you would never be able to fill out a form to be exempt. Now, wouldn't that pull the plug on the scene of the economy? Can you imagine myriads of Christians coming out, not willing to participate anymore, being non-participants? Well, that could be quite costly to the guys who actually were silly enough to buy the debt on that illusion. And they sold it to the Chinese. They sold all the debt to the Chinese, and they're the biggest gamblers, and they're not going to be pleased because they're the biggest non-believers you could ever think of. So they're not going to be very pleased when they found out that they bought no participating laborers who won't go ahead and participate because they have a way out. And they cannot go against the law. So then they're going to go after the people who are in there, and they're going to chip and scan them and make them go ahead. And they'll start, well, they won't look at us very well, will they? You can see a war happening on that. That would be the good against the bad, wouldn't it? But it said that the seed of the woman would crush the seed of the serpent. It'd be a death blow in the head. You pull the cards out, you can't have a name without a given name, right? I pulled a given name, well, you don't have the spirit in their body, right? It collapses immediately. And I've seen it happen in courts. So I know. It's like an exorcism. Bring a Bible in and watch all those guys in black robes leave. I've seen them take the court reporter and themselves right out of the courtroom. Remember, it's your worship, not my worship, when you're addressing even the justice of the peace. In all due respect, your worship, I just want to make it clear that I don't worship you, but I know that you think that you're worship, so I just want to make sure you understand. That's okay. I feel sorry for you, but you worship yourself. That's great. But it's not my worship. I do not worship your God, but I was brought in here involuntarily. Involuntarily coming in does not work with equity, because equity will not support a volunteer. So if they drag you in, the first thing that should come out of your mouth is, I'm here involuntarily. And I am now seeking equity in this courtroom, because equity, there's a maximum law that a legal fiction, okay, must provide equity. That means they're damning you to be that, but they have to provide equity to who you really are, because their side isn't strong enough. You can't believe a lie is going to overpower truth. I know that's really hard. You're in a world of liars. They say the average person lies 7 times in an hour in conversation. 7 times in an hour, general conversation. More so Milad than me, but. So, we're dealing with words. The last thing I'm going to say on here is that P. I put it up there, and I got to let you know what that is. On this document, there's P. See it? P? It's on every one of them. Doesn't matter what statement of birth you got. If you're from Ontario, you got one of these. Doesn't matter. I'm sure it's in the provinces too. Some vary. Ontario, I believe, is the hub of it all, because now we've changed our postal codes to ON. But that's not the short. That is not the abbreviation for Ontario. Just so you know that. They subtly slew that in there. That's what Satan was. Subtle. He was the subtle. Look at Genesis. Subtle means tech. You realize that? What tech did they have back then? That's what the word subtle means, tech. We're in the tech age. That was what it was designed for, but his own tech's going to take him down. Because I sent a virus up, I couldn't reach everybody in the world any quicker by sending it up a tech side, right? You have to admit, I could be using his own game against him. Maybe he didn't see me coming, or he knew, but he knew he couldn't stop it because I'm not in fear of him. Okay, so P. Okay? Well, when I looked it up, because the biggest thing on here is also page 1 of 1. It says that right on the document. This is page 1 of 1. Well, the first letter in the law dictionary says an abbreviation for page. And then it says, it led me down to the word page in Old English law, a toll for passage through another's land. When you give this to them, they can't touch you, because this is a proof that you have paid the toll to pass. Now do you understand? I don't have to tell you anymore. You owe nothing. I couldn't care less if there was anybody who thought they were a landlord in that Gentile scene. They got nothing. They bought a debt. They couldn't move me off of anything. If you know who you are, you know you've got the promise. But you got to believe it, because it won't work without belief, right? You know what belief means? Be love. Most people don't even know that. That's what belief means. It means be love. Leaf is L-I-E-F is love. So it means be love. That's why they were believers. The Christians were called set apart. So you know on the birth certificates they have a comma between the one name and the other name? That's a set off. Because one gets a sentence to death. The goats were separated on the left and the sheep on the right. You know that your Christian name's on the right and the surname's on the left. On the birth certificate short form. So there's the one-on-one on what it is. You got to start exercising faith. That's why even the cover document they put on this says full faith and credence to the seal of that minister on there. Believe it or not, they're there to protect you. God's using their hand. It's not there to protect the Gentile. It's there to protect the Christian. Your superiors have given me this to give to you. They don't know whether you know who you are. If you know you're the right guy, then you don't have to worry. But if you touch the wrong one, oh boy, surname means debtor, don't forget it. It's Roman. Doesn't mean a good thing. Don't get all warm and friendly with that last name. So, anyways, we'll leave it at that. It's a lot of info for the night. And if you want to look at another scripture, the only place where title shows up, because the word title, you see, when you put Mr. in front of a name, okay, they'll say that is an abbreviation put before a man's title. So when they say Mr. Smith, they're saying that Mr. is an abbreviation put before, and it's military, by the way. Mr. refers only for military reasons. It's not for any other reason. And the Smith is the title. So they're only referring to you as Mr. Title. And it means you're in the aggregate of that name. You are basically, you don't have any individuality. You're in the army. You have no rights. Anyways, you're in the aggregate. So there's things going on.
I looked up title, a descriptive appellation.
That's right, an appellate. That's why they have appellate courts. Appellation court. It's only for surnames. It's people feuding over title. Everything you're ever fighting for is basically trying to get something back from someone's title that was conveyed to another title. Someone's holding something under title. But it's all Gentile. So there's the appellation. But it's a title. It's not it has nothing to do with your given name. It has nothing to do with that. It's a name, not the name. So we hope that works out for you guys. We hope that's one-on-one. Clear your thought.